Hey guys, welcome to the Samira Show. It's your girl B Scarlet Sky, and I'm coming to you this video with part 1 of why I left the school system. So boom, I entered the school system in the summer of 2015, August 2015. I had graduated college in December of 2014. I had to stay an extra semester. It was getting a little real. I had to stay an extra semester, and I was working at this nonprofit in the in-between time with like kids who were like on the spectrum. But I went into North Star. That was the first school I worked at, and I was so lucky and grateful because my principal, shout out to Tanya Ballard, my principal was amazing. Like, she's still like the best principal I've ever worked under and the best principal I've like had in my own experience as a student in Newark, New Jersey. But principal was great. She was amazing. I was a part of a founding team at a new North Star campus. Shout out to Central Ave Middle School. So it was like a team of 8 teachers and then like the leadership on the team. So yeah, I loved it. Like, I loved working there. I loved my principal. I loved the DOO. I loved the office manager. I loved my coworkers. I loved the students. Like, everything about it was great, and I was just so excited to be a girl from Newark, like coming back into the community and like teaching the youth. The youth are the future. The youth is the future. Like, so I was really excited, and I went into the school making probably like $55K. So like at the time, like that was a lot of money, and that was the most money like I ever received. Like, the only other job I ever had prior to that, other than a Sunstar, was working a summer job for City Hall. So like that was a lot of money to me. That was a lot of money to my family. So like it was a big accomplishment. Thought I was going to stay in the school forever. I loved the structure of North Star. I loved everything about it. Fast forward, I would say, I'm trying to think, when did I start to feel this way? It was very stressful. So it was very stressful. I will be waking up at like 5 in the morning to try to get there at 6 so that I can like do my work, like as in like grading and stuff like that, so that I could do that before the kids came in. Kids used to be coming in at like 7:30. It may have been 7. It was really early. I don't remember exactly. It may have been 7 or 7:30, but I remember getting there at 6 because I needed that hour to do work. I feel like the kids did come in at 7. I needed that hour to get work done before the kids got there because it was very hard to get work done during the day. Like, there was barely any prep time. I taught, at the time, in the beginning, I taught 2 90-minute classes, and then I had there was another math teacher. Shout out to Diego, my bestie, my teacher, one of my school besties. He taught another class, but like we pushed into each other's classes, so there was barely any time to do anything, and we really did care about the kids. So like we would spend our lunches helping kids, tutoring kids. Like, after school, we would be spending time with kids, so it wasn't much time to do our own workload. In hindsight, looking back at it, we could have tried to set boundaries and stuff like that, which I did try later on, but it was really difficult. And building the relationships with the kids was like something that our school... Micah's over there in his playpen. Hopefully he's gonna let me finish recording. But yeah, building relationships. Our campus pride ourselves on building relationships. So it was hard to tell a kid like, no, get out. I'm trying to grade or do work or lesson plans or whatever the case may be. So like lesson planning, like doing the exemplar, that was a thing. Hold on 1 second. So lesson planning, that was a thing. Like doing the exemplar and like marking it up. Like the lessons were already done for us, but like somehow it still took me hours to do it. We had to make sure we internalized them. Grading was a thing. We used to have like 30 grades in each quarter, which was a lot. And we had to like put feedback on it. And then we also had duties. So it's not like anytime we weren't teaching, it was just our free time. Like we all had duties. Some people had more than others. Like, so it was a very, very busy day. It was very stressful. I would come home and like I would literally work sometimes until 12 a.m. like just going over my lesson plan or finishing lesson plans from the week before, because I was always behind on my lesson plans. Like them Johns were always late. Okay. um or like grading, there was just always something to do. Grading did take up majority of the work. But I was just like, it's good money. Like I love my coworkers. Like I thought that I would be able to do it forever. And then every time we would have like the end of the year events, or even the holiday parties were like super fun. Like I do miss the holiday party. And, they did, at least at my school, like they always bought us food. And like, who doesn't love food? Like, anytime there was like a report card conference or any type of event, a show or anything, like they would buy us food. The gifts were really nice. So it was almost like a abusive relationship kind of. It's like, yeah, this is really hard, but they buy me nice things. So I remember thinking and looking up to a lot of the math teachers who ended up leaving like way before I left. But I ended up looking up to a lot of the teachers who had been there for years. And I remember thinking like, this is going to be me. Like, I'm going to be one of those teachers that's here for 7 years, that's here for 10 years, 13 years. I'm going to be getting all these awards. I'm going to stay at North Star forever. Like, I thought that. Like, I did think that. Like, I couldn't see anything else beyond. Like, I remember my boyfriend at the time, he was like, you should open your own school. You should do this. You should do that. And I'm just like, open my own school. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I just want to work at North Star and be a teacher forever. Like, I just love teaching. Like, I remember that being a thing. And it's so crazy looking back on it now because, like, I don't feel that way at all now. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, be a teacher forever? No. At least not in the school system. I'm still a teacher. I'm forever a teacher, okay? But yeah, I just thought I was gonna be one of those, North Star legends. Like they were gonna make movies about me, or not movies, but they would like reference me when referring to like the best math teachers at North Star. Like I wanted that. I thought that was a thing. But fast forward, my principal ended up leaving. She like ended up like stepping down from being the principal. It's a whole nother story about what really happened with that. I'm not going to get into that because that's not my story to tell. But she ended up stepping down and like going back to being like an English teacher or something. And we got a new principal. And at the time, I was excited for this new principal. She was someone who had worked in our school, like with the ELA department when she was like, what do they call it? Not like shadowing. I can't remember what it's called now, but like, dang, I can't remember what it's called. But it's like when someone's about to be a principal and then they come in and then they're like basically taking on little principal tasks, like step by step. Dang, like I've been out of the school system for so long, I can't remember what it's called. But she was in whatever that program is. Dang, it's really bugging me. Whatever. But we knew who she was because the previous year, I don't know if it was the previous year or like years before, but she had actually been in the school and she was teaching ELA. She was helping with the ELA department and she was slowly taking on, fellowship. She was doing a principal fellowship at our school. So we knew who she was, and she was a Black lady. So like when they said that she was going to be the one being stepping into the role as the principal, like we were all happy. Well, I was happy. But sometimes things don't always work out as you think they are, and people aren't always who you think they are. So I don't want to get too much in it on her because, I don't have any beef with her, and if you worked at my school and if you were a student at the school, you obviously know who the principal was during that time because she's still the principal now. But there was just a disconnect. There was a disconnect between her and, I'm not going to say all the staff because some staff did have a good relationship with her, but there was a disconnect between her and a few of the staff members, and there was definitely a disconnect between her and the students. Hopefully that's gotten better, but there was a disconnect. There was a bit of things didn't seem, oh Micah, don't expose me now. Things didn't seem as authentic. It was definitely different from the previous principal that was like really big on like relationships and transparency and and, you know, like sticking up for the teachers and things like that. So things were different. And I tried to, like, you know, rock with her, like defend her. I tried to help her. Like, I used to, like, you know, I was one of those people that, like, even when we had our old principal, like, anytime there was a problem or anytime, like, teachers were feeling, like, bad about something or they had, like, a problem or a grievance, like, I would be the one who was, like, standing up in meetings, like, speaking on that because for whatever reason, people sometimes didn't want to say things because they didn't want to seem disrespectful or they didn't want to lose their job. But, like, that wasn't one of my concerns. One, because, like, they needed teachers. So, like, you're not about to fire me for speaking my mind. And two, because if I don't say anything, then nothing's going to get fixed. And I'm a proud believer of standing up and speaking up when there is a problem. So I was that person for a very long time where, like, if there was a problem or a grievance amongst the teachers, like, I was speaking up about it. I was speaking up about it at any and every meeting, any chance I got, because, like, why wouldn't I? So I would try to come to her on the side and tell her, like, look, the teacher's not feeling this, the teacher's not feeling this, that, the teachers need this, the teachers need that. And she would always act like she was going to, like, fix it or change things, but, like, not many things, like, change. Oh, what you laughing at? What you laughing at? You cracking up. Not many things. What you laughing at? What you laughing at? Precious boy. Not many things would change. So, I don't want, like I said, I'm not trying, this video is not about her, because that's not why I left the school. The DOO left too. We had went through, like, 2 different DOOs. The last DOO, she was shot out. I think she's still there too. I don't know. But she was interesting. People wasn't really rocking with her like that too. She was very snappy, very power trippy. Just not it. So it got to a point when I did leave. So I left the year of 2022, but I had already told the principal that, like, I wasn't gonna be coming back. Like, I told her, like, I wasn't gonna be coming back after this school year because I wasn't happy there and I just didn't want to be in the school system. So, like, she knew that I didn't want to come back. It wasn't a surprise. But the reason why I didn't want to come back and the reason why I wanted to leave North Star and just the school system in general is because, at least being in the charter school, I've never worked in a public school setting, but in the charter school, there was, like, a big focus on just, like, the test and kids scoring well on the test. Like, I remember my first year being there and, like, us, like, having our first meeting after the kids took, like, what they have is called an IA. It was an interim assessment, and they took 4 every year, and it basically prepared them for the state test. But those results around the test, like, they would rank all the schools, and, like, it was very nerve-wracking. And, like, if you performed the worst, like, it was, like, a big thing. Like, everybody wanted to be the top scoring school. And, like, when you weren't the top performing school, even if you were the second performing school, like, it was a big pressure around, like, getting the kids to score higher, and like everything was just focusing on test taking and them getting high scores. And it's like, all right, yeah, like we want them to do good on the test, but like we want them to actually learn this stuff and actually know this stuff, and we want them to actually enjoy learning. At least I did. Like I wanted my kids to enjoy learning, and a lot of the kids would be stressed too around the test. Like when the test came out, we would post like the top 10 IA All-Stars, and then we would pick the jumpers, and I always felt bad for the kids who like never jumped, or like they were always in the red or the yellow or the orange. And it's like, I just didn't like the culture. It was very stressful. You so silly. It was a very stressful culture for the students and the teachers as well, and I just didn't like it. Like everything was just focused around like the test. Like at some points it felt like they didn't care about us as teachers and what we were going through, and they didn't care about the kids and what the kids were going through. It was just about achieving, which is important, but like it's not the most important thing. Like at least that's how I felt. So that focus, I didn't like that. Like I said, it was very time consuming. So like I'm waking up at like 5, getting there at 6, leaving at 6, which was the latest that you could leave. Leaving at 6, which was the latest you could leave, and still having to go home and join work. Oh, and in the beginning, the kids were able to call us up until 9 o'clock. Like we had to give them our phone numbers and we had to answer the phone, or at least they told us to, up until 9 o'clock. Now, towards the end, I wasn't doing that. North Star is why I started to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, okay? I started putting my phone on Do Not Disturb because of North Star. And I would tell my kids, like, don't call me after 6 o'clock because I'm not going to answer. So if you have questions, you better call me before 6. If not, we'll talk about it tomorrow, okay? So it was just very stressful, and it got to the point where I just started hating going to work. Like I was like looking forward to the weekend so I can like drink and be out and about. And I was becoming like borderline depressed. I wasn't able to like hang out with my family as much, because even on the weekends, I had work to do on the weekends. So it's like some weekends I would be able to hang out with my family and friends, but some weekends I wouldn't. It was just very, very time consuming, and it started to take a toll on my mental health. And I don't think, especially the principal and the leadership team we had at the time, they didn't seem like to care about that. Yeah. So that's partly why I wanted to leave. Like there was just a disconnect between me and the school system. I was just tired all the time. I was becoming more like snappy with the kids for like little things. Like little things were becoming big things, and like I just wasn't enjoying being there. And anytime you stop enjoying, you no longer enjoy what you do. It no longer makes you happy. Like I don't care what job it is, what career it is, it's time to go. Okay, it's time to go. That's your body telling you, that's your intuition telling you it's time to wrap it up, flat screen. So I knew I was leaving that year. I told her I was leaving that year. So knowing that I was leaving that year, once I told her like I'm not coming back, like those days in the class with my kids, like I was more happy because I knew that I wasn't coming back next year. Like I knew like I had nothing to lose, because like I still did everything I could for the kids, and I gave them my all. Ow, Papa. Ow. I still did everything I could for the kids and gave them my all, but like I kept it real with them. They knew I was leaving too. I just didn't expect to leave as soon as I did. I was supposed to stay until the end of the school year, and because of personal reasons, which I'm gonna have to get into in the next video, I had to leave, and I never came back after spring break. So yeah, that was one of my biggest regrets, like leaving without like officially saying goodbye to everyone. But my shoes were tied. Wait, what's the saying? My feet were tied. I don't know. But I'm gonna get into that in part 2. So stay tuned. you.